G'day guys and gal. As we know, when the Space Marines first struck out from Terra to fulfill the Emperor's grand design to clap the galaxy's cheeks, they did not have their Primarchs leading them. Those man-children had been scattered. However, Space Marines crave daddies and they crave leadership. Thus, each Legion had a Legion Master, an interim Primarch, who would lead the Legion until their Primarch was discovered. Some Legion Masters were solid, gracefully handing over leadership to their Gene Father upon their discovery. Other Legion Masters' handovers did not go so smoothly, then they were removed a lot less gracefully. The Legion Masters represent an awesome piece of lore that not many people know about until today. Before we get started, I bet a lot of you are like, new year, new me. I want to get healthy and shit, which I back in hard. Being healthy slaps. And while sleep, diet, and exercise are key pillars of that, strategic supplementation can honestly be life-changing. So I'd love to talk about my supplement brand, Nutty Plus supplements, and how it could potentially help you. A lot of supplements are snake oil bullshit. That's true. As someone who's passionate about supplements, it's really disgusting to see AI-generated bullshit ads promising the world, but then having an ingredients list that may as well be lawn grass. My approach was to use only science-backed ingredients that have proven themselves in science-backed studies. By proven, I mean literally be shown to notably improve biomarkers, whether it be increasing testosterone, lowering your harmful liver enzymes, improving blood glucose and insulin sensitivity, lowering bad cholesterol. All of these are measurable things that the Nutty Plus range targets. Now today I wanted to talk about the ultimate testosterone booster, as that is our best seller, and let's be honest, increasing your testosterone sounds a lot cooler than lowering your cholesterol. Now I could take you through each ingredient, show you the studies behind them, and prove how they work, but I'd rather just show you the results. These are all verified blood work taken before and after customers use the test booster. Jason experienced a 200% increase, taking him from hypergonadal to within the reference range, using only our supplement with its natural ingredients. He even made a little video for us about his experience.
Hey, I just want to do a quick shout out to Nutty Plus and the testosterone booster. As a 40-year-old father of two, I found my testosterone dropping back in March. I spent several months doing everything I could to raise that testosterone with better eating and sleeping and weight training habits, which though did make me feel better, were not increasing my testosterone. In August, I jumped on the testosterone booster. Within 3 months, I saw a raise by 200. Feeling better, having more energy, making some gains in the gym. Thank you, Nutty Plus.
What I'm saying is that this shit works, and to prove I actually use and love these supplements, like I literally formulated them for myself and then realized other people would probably like them as well, I'll eat them all now. Liver support, blood sugar management, testosterone booster, multivitamin, cholesterol support, and now the estrogen reduction because I don't want to be a woman. Whew, that is a lot of supplements. Bottoms up. Use link or code Majorkill for 20% off below. Start your year off right, increase your testosterone, make the Emperor proud. Today we'll go over each Legion Master, detailing what happened to them when their Primarch returned and what their fate is if it is known. Let's get into it. Urian Vendrag was the Dark Angel's Legion Master. Like all Legion Masters, he was born on Terra, which makes sense. When his predecessor, Hector Thrain, who was low-key the first Legion Master ever and one of the Emperor's closest generals, heroically died, because often there was numerous Legion Masters that lived and died before a Primarch was found, Malcador himself chose Urian to succeed him, which is quite the flex. Urian was pretty damn close to a Primarch in mindset. He wanted the first Legion to lead by example and become a Legion for others to aspire to be like. So he brought them away from the galactic fringes, allowed remembrances to watch some of their rites and spread tales of them. He then led the Legion against the Rangda, the most powerful Xeno empire in the galaxy, losing 5,000 Marines but winning the first battle, cementing the first as a powerhouse despite not even having their Primarch. However, Urian's zeal would prove his undoing. In a joint campaign with the Ultramarines, Guilliman was carefully and slowly dismantling a hostile world, minimizing casualties. However, Urian charged in guns blazing, took heavy casualties and seized the world, only for the world to then detonate an atomic bomb out of spite, killing many Dark Angels including Urian. The line was discovered soon after this, so there was no other true Legion Master after Urian. Thrallus was the Legion Master of the Emperor's children, however we don't really have any lore on him. To be fair, the Emperor's children were borderline extinct by the time Fulgrim was found due to their gene seed defects, so he barely commanded a legion. However, if he was in charge when the Emperor's children saved the Emperor, it's likely he was held in high regard. However, he either died soon after this, or Fulgrim didn't want him anywhere near his advisors or captains, so demoted him to a line trooper we've never even heard about again, which knowing Fulgrim is the likely outcome. We don't actually have the name of the Iron Warriors Legion Master. The nature of 40k lore is that it's so vast that sometimes we just don't get any info on something. What we do know is that the Iron Warriors already suited Perturabo's style of war, so he took over command seamlessly. We also know he ordered decimation as he believed his legion were not up to his standard. We also know Perty could be jealous and petty, so I would not be shocked if the Iron Warriors Legion Master was the first to be decimated by Perty's own hand. Likewise, we don't know the White Scars Legion Master, but that's likely by design. The White Scars were low-key racist and the Khan only chose Chagorians to be in his inner circle, so I imagine he would have thanked the Terran Legion Master before demoting him out of relevance. The White Scars were also an extremely scattered scout legion before the Khan united them, split into dozens of smaller warbands, so there's also a chance they didn't actually have a Legion Master. We do however know of the Space Wolves Legion Master, Enoch Rathvin. Similar to the White Scars, the Space Wolves were pretty racist. If you weren't born in Fenris, many didn't consider you a true Space Wolf. Enoch was a great warrior though. He led well and set the foundations of the Space Wolves' reputation as vicious, ruthless, but loyal and steadfast. However, Lehman noted that Enoch was unstable, maybe due to the gene seed defects of the wolves, or maybe he was just a bit too overzealous, so he demoted him into being a line captain. Enoch would soon meet his end during a war against the Orcs, getting crushed by an Orc vehicle during a suicide charge. Sounds about right. The Legion Master of the Imperial Fists was Matthias, and he was a competent yet not particularly remarkable master in Rogel's opinion. However, Rogel was actually quite an intelligent statesman. He wanted to make the Imperial Fists a lot better, and he believed they had a lot to learn. However, he didn't want to just antagonize Matthias yet, but he also did not want to keep him around. Also, Matthias was still highly organized, so instead he sent Matthias back to Inwit and named him High Castellan, responsible for overseeing Space Marine recruitment in the Inwit system, kind of like what the Lion did with Luther, but way less autistic. This way, he was able to remove the Legion Master from the Legion, while also honoring him for his service and keeping use of his skills. Unsurprisingly, we don't know the name of the Night Lord's Legion Master. However, I do want to say that the Terran-born Night Lords were extremely cool. They were found in the depths of Terra's ancient prisons, taken from the children of those prisoners who were born and raised in darkness. They were called the Night's Children. They were basically Night Lords without the baggage. However, they are a lot more subtle and stealthy, and their lore before finding Conrad is very sparse, so we don't know who their Legion Master is, although Conrad seems to have demoted him into obscurity when he took over, or just outright eliminated him. The Blood Angels have pretty cool lore for their Legion Master. They were once called the Revenant Legion and were an extremely brutal, cannibalistic, and vicious legion. They suffered a shitload of casualties per battle, and often their Legion Master would die. However, on record, the Blood Angels only ever had one Legion Master, Ishudu-Osaurus. Man, that is a fucking fake name. But how is that possible? Well, every time Ishudu died, the Revenants would perform a ceremony, choose a new Legion Master, then that Legion Master would eat Ishudu's corpse to absorb his memories, then take his name and armor to honor him, making the rest of the Imperium believe there was only ever one Ishudu. When Sanguinius was found, he completely dismantled the Revenants and had them reborn as the Blood Angels. All of their traditions were wiped out, including Ishudu. Amadius Duquesne was the Legion Master of the Iron Hands and led his legion well, winning the early Battle of Rust. When Ferrus took over, he graciously moved Amedius into a more minor but still prominent role. Amedius would witness Ferrus die at the Dropsite Massacre before he too was slain, probably the most straightforward life cycle of a Legion Master ever. I'd say the World Eater's Legion Master had the best lore by far. When Angron was found, he killed most of the World Eater command structure. However, the World Eater Legion Master Lork was spared because he had recently been wounded and put into a dreadnought, so he wasn't present. Lork handed over command without issue and would go on to command the dreadnoughts of the Legion. When the Butcher's Nails had been introduced to the Legion, he joined the rebellion against its use, but submitted when the rebels lost. Now, he was actually asleep when the heresy kicked off, being woken up as the Ultramarines boarded the Conqueror to defend it, so he could defend it. Now, he obviously wasn't too impressed to wake up in a galaxy where he was now a traitor and the Emperor's dream was shattered, but he chose to be loyal to his Legion and fought off the borders. When Lorgar began turning Angron into a demon, Lork had had enough. He attacked Lorgar's physical body while the World Eater Librarians attacked Lorgar's spirit. The combined attack was solid, but Lorgar overcame it and Angron ascended. Angron then proceeded to kill Lork and the Librarians, the only World Eaters left remaining without the Butcher's Nails. Almost as tragic of a tale as Angron's himself. Marius Gage was the Legion Master of the Ultramarines, who were called the Warborn before Guilliman was found, which is way cooler, but well. Interestingly enough, when Guilliman took command, instead of sending Marius away or executing him or demoting him into irrelevance, he made him his first captain and second in command. Now, Guilliman is a fantastic politician, and it would have been awesome for the transition of power and the morale of his legion to do this. However, Marius was also extremely capable and would serve with distinction during the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy, even eventually becoming the chapter master of the Ultramarines chapter when the legion was broken up. A massive honor. The Death Guard, or the Dusk Raiders as they were called before Mortarion, did not have a known legion master. This is likely due to the fact that when Mortarion took over the legion, he did not like their style of warfare and culture and he dismantled it. It actually caused a lot of tension within the legion. It would be like if Lehman took over the Raven Guard and turned them into the Space Wolves. So I imagine Mortarion would have demoted the Dusk Raider Legion Master into absolute oblivion as he tried to erase the legion's past. The Thousand Sons also don't have a known legion master, likely for a similar reason as to why the Emperor's Children Legion Master has no lore. Their gene seed was killing them at such an alarming rate that the title of Legion Master could have been thrown around like a hot potato. When they found Magnus, the Legion was reborn in a sense, so any Legion Master that was present would have quietly faded back into the ranks. The Lunar Wolves had Moral Lupus as their Legion Master, also known as the White Wolf, famed for his monster hunting abilities as well as his skill at fucking multiple witch baddies at the same time. Sorry, wrong setting. Moral led the Legion well, however he was slain during the Battle of Lumen, where a vicious mutant subrace of evil humans were exterminated. As far as I know, there wasn't a replacement Legion Master before Horus was found. I mean, there probably was, but I don't have a name and I wasn't there, so sorry. Annoyingly, the Wordbearers also don't have a known Legion Master. However, it's likely for the same reason as the Death Guard, that being the Legion was completely restructured when they found Lorgar, so their previous Legion Master was deranked into oblivion. Kassan Vaughn was the Legion Master of the Salamanders, known as the Dragon Warriors at the time. Vaughn is actually my middle name, and I have the lips and cock of a black man, so it works out quite nicely. Cassian was universally liked and respected, even becoming mates with Horus himself. When Vulcan took over, he kept Cassian close. Cassian would be mortally wounded by orcs during the Great Crusade, so Vulcan hand-forged him a unique set of dreadnought armor, second to none, and integrated Vulcan's genius with Dark Age of Technology gear. During the Dropsite Massacre, the traitors were unable to kill Cassian. His invulnerable warplate meant he was just blitzing them without issue. Only when Horus himself joined the battle and personally fought Cassian did the dreadnought fall, Horus feeling sad about killing his old friend. But Cassian survived! Despite a direct hit from Worldbreaker, Cassian would only get knocked out, not killed, and buried in the ashen bodies. He would later be recovered by a Shattered Legion warband, which also included loyalist Iron Warriors, and would command his force and even lead them into a massive battle, featuring over 10,000 space runes, winning the battle and slaughtering the traitors. We don't actually have a scene of this guy dying yet, so Mr. Unkillable might still be out and about somewhere. Arcus Fowl was the Legion Master of the Raven Guard, known as the Shade Lord. Corvus hated that his Raven Guard Legion reminded him of the oppressors he overthrew on his homeworld, so his Terran-born Raven Guard was sent on a mission to the outer reaches of the galaxy, which is more or less an exile. During this time, it's heavily implied that they would eventually become the Space Sharks, as Shade Lord is also one of the titles Tybros has, and the Space Sharks' origins are traced back to exiled Raven Guard, so there you go, that's pretty fucking dope. And finally, the Alpha Legion. The Alpha Legion likely never had a Legion Master, as Alpharis was with his Legion from day one. They did have their first captain as well as their Harrow Master, who were likely thought of as the Legion Masters by the rest of the Imperium. However, they never truly had one in the purest sense. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then pick up a Nutty Plus sub, namely the Ultimate Testosterone Booster. Link or code Majorkill for 20% off. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.